Hello pumpkin people, it's me Todd, and it is the 5th of September 2021, and here to give you guys not an update, but it's kind of a continuation of a little series I was doing on growing your giant pumpkins organically, because that's what we're doing here. So right now the plant's looking pretty good for the beginning of September. You can see the older growth there is starting to die off, but we've got lots of new growth in here and in here, and actually growing into my neighbor's fence over there and into their bush, and then actually growing off over our back fence as well. So we've got lots of new growth, which is going to be great for the pumpkin, which is growing right now. But today I thought I'd do a quick little video, guys, on on wood chips and mulch, and how you can use that in your garden to avoid weeding, because when you're growing giant pumpkins you can usually deal with a lot of weeds, but in my case, as you can see, there aren't too many weeds there, because I've got a nice thick layer of leaf mulch and wood chips. You want to use a mixture. You want to use some leaf and some chips, because they represent both the acid side of things and the base or alkaline side of things. So you want to have things balanced. But you can get this from your local arborist or tree cutting service place. They will drop off as much as you want for free usually. So you can just call up your local tree cutting service and ask for some mulch, bark mulch with leaf, and they will deliver it. So that's what we've done. We did that last year. I got about 7 yards of it for free. And the first thing I did once I got my cow manure on and my peat moss and that kind of thing, I got the wood chips on to keep the weeds at bay, and it's very good for the soil to help things like mycelium, and also to keep in moisture. So it's handy to have definitely on. And as you can see, there are very few weeds, so and I haven't done basically any weeding for the whole season, other than maybe the very beginning. So that's one thing you can do if you're growing organically to save yourself some elbow grease, is to get wood chips and leaf mulch onto your patch. The other thing I thought might be useful, guys, is to just talk about these wood planks that you see. You see I've got that's just like a little 5-foot piece there with a couple of 4x4 pieces underneath to get the wood plank off the ground. Because if you want to grow a giant pumpkin, you really can't be walking on your soil at all. So you lay these down at the beginning of the season in strategic places. Once you know kind of where your secondaries are shooting out, you want to lay your boards down in strategic places. Sometimes I have just like a plain old board just lying flat in there right on the soil, but as you can see, it's in between the two secondaries that are shooting out here and here, so I'm not stepping on the roots so much, right? So that's key. I'll kind of walk through here, guys, so you can see what it's like when you're trying to get in here and do some watering or do some feeding. It's a little bit of a pumpkin circus here. You kind of step carefully over your leaves so you don't crack any leaves, and then you can kind of navigate around your whole patch, right? Like this. There's another plank over here. Step over there. Whoops. Yeah, see, that's what you don't want to do. I just kind of snap this leaf over there. So, yeah, that's a drag, but oh, it can't be helped. It's a bit of a jungle out here, and there's boards on the other side, right? Same thing. They're placed in between the secondaries that are shooting out, so you can get yourself. You need to be able to navigate around. I mean, if you're doing it like me, where you've got a hose to water, like this is very lo-fi here. I water with a hose, so I've got to be able to get everywhere, and I water right along the vine, the main vine. I can't really water the secondaries too much. I have to rely on Mother Nature for that. But I do get in, I make sure I water the entire length of the main vine. In my case, it's about 50 feet long, starting over here at the stump end, and then coming all the way along here, and then it kind of wraps around and turns right when it runs out of garden, and then it's over there, and you might be able to see the pumpkin in there. She's growing now, probably in and around 60 odd pounds. She's right in there. Well, it's a nice zoom. So yeah, so it's a very long main vine, and I like to water and feed across the entire main vine. So you don't have to water too far, like you just got to get within a few inches, right, of the main vine. Like you can see there's sort of like a little trough there. So that's where I'm watering, that's where I'm feeding. And like I say, go right across the whole main vine with your feeds, with your watering. Now, if I have enough time, I'll do the last thing I want to talk about while growing your giant pumpkins organically. Whoop, as I do the pumpkin plant dance here on my boards, is my feedings, my regular feedings. So now, of course, you want to get nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium at the correct times of the season, right? Nitrogen for growing your plant and getting lots of greenery. Phosphorus for growing your flowers when it's time to you know, pollinate your pumpkin. This is what a mistake that I made this year, was that I didn't have enough flowers up. So I had a beautiful 5-lober female flower right about there, which was a perfect spot. But I only had 2 male flowers up over here and here, and it wasn't enough to pollinate. There wasn't enough pollen, and definitely wasn't enough flowers. So I should have been beefing up the phosphorus at that time in the season, which was like mid-July. I should have been beefing up the phosphorus to get more flowers, and therefore to be able to pollinate that beautiful female flower that I had. In any case, no regrets here. We've got a nice pumpkin on the grow. So, but yeah, good information for next time. You always learn something when you're growing giant pumpkins. So back to my my regular feeding. This is just for health for the plant. I like to use Kelp Man. You can use any kelp product that you can find on Amazon or at your local nursery. And I like to use fish emulsion. Again, I usually use Neptune's, but I'm using this Ocean Harvest, and it's good stuff. And you want to have these two together. I use 3/8 of a cup per gallon for the fish emulsion, and I use about 20 mil of the kelp meal, which is roughly about, you know, a tablespoon and a half, and that's per gallon of water. And then I'll do about 7 of these across the main vine. I would do more, but it's kind of backbreaking stuff. So in any case, so that's what I'm doing, guys. Those are things that, if you're growing your giant pumpkin organically, I like to do the fish and seaweed emulsion. I do that once a week to keep the plant healthy. And I'll also take some of that emulsion and I'll do a foliar spray. So I'll just spray right on top of the leaves, and they love it. Right now I'm dealing with powdery mildew, but yeah, the leaves love it. So you'll see them kind of perk up after you do that. And that, guys, is about it for this little video. Hope that was useful and fun. We'll do it again soon. I'll give you an update on the pumpkin, see how she's doing, maybe in a few days. So thanks for watching, guys. Signing off from Willowdale's Backyard Farm.